colors. Summer love, lonesome dove, folded on the lawn chair in all the colors. Summer love, remember when we were getting nowhere fast, when the garden won't stop giving back. Honeysuckle, fresh cut grass. I could really use some stuff like that. Talk to me and tell me all that you've seen, all the colors. Summer love, memory.
Summer is coming to an end, and I really can't believe how fast it flew by. This summer was truly filled with really high highs and really low lows, with extreme highs followed by extreme lows, or vice versa. You can really appreciate all of the feelings, but it's honestly been very uncomfortable. So this is calendula, and a really cool thing I learned this year is that a lot of herbs and flowers, if you cut at the base, which this one had already flowered, and I cut the flowers off at the base. If you cut it off at the base, it actually sprouts 2 more. And I think if you keep cutting it down, it'll keep just sprouting 2 more every time you cut it. And so I cut it at the base, and now I have 2 more flowers popping up, which is super nice. The ones I did cut, I'm gonna dry, and I'm gonna make some calendula oil, and eventually I'm gonna make a calendula salve with that. But what's really cool that I saw today was I tested this theory on my basil, and it actually worked. Look, it's sprouting 2 new leaves already. Do you see that? Tip for the garden, bug spray. I just get this bug spray from my local farmer's market. It's made out of water, witch hazel, sandalwood, patchouli, lemongrass, citronella, and some kind of alcohol. And yeah, but what's really neat is I'm actually growing some of these things this year, like This is citronella, and it smells exactly like this bug spray. It's insane. And honestly, I feel like it has kept a lot of bugs out of my garden, specifically mosquitoes, but only when I'm in this corner, which doesn't help when I'm doing a lot of things. This is very easy to grow, very low maintenance. I just let it go, and it has grown beautifully in the garden. So maybe I'll make my own bug spray this winter, we'll see. Also, gardener tip, if you just take some soap and you scratch it, you fill your nail beds with soap instead of dirt. Today I have a lot to do in the garden. I'm gonna take out all of my onions, and they're actually pretty small, but that's because I grew too much yarrow this year, which is my favorite plant, my favorite herb, my favorite flower. It's magical, it really is. But I grew it all along my garden beds, and it overtook all of the beds, and so I had to move it in order for other things to grow. So halfway during the summer I moved it. It got a huge shock, so the flowers are dead now. But everything was able to begin thriving again because the yarrow was like overpowering. It completely took over everything. It was so tall and towering over, and it just really didn't work in the garden, but hopefully it'll work where I've moved it. It is a perennial, so it comes back every year, so I'm expecting it to come back healthy next year, even though it's looking pretty dead right now. But we'll see. Every year I learn more and more, and it feels so good. One of my farmer friends told me that the most experienced gardeners and farmers have actually killed the most plants. It's a funny concept, but it's so true. I try not to get discouraged when it comes to gardening because, after all, I would love to grow all of my food someday. But right now, I'm just learning, and gardening is truly a pleasure over a necessity. Gardening is a fulfilling and rewarding journey that I'm on, and I just can't be too hard on myself. Not to mention the most important thing that I learned about gardening this year, and that is every season is different. Gardening teaches you that you are not in control. My job as a gardener is to learn how to work with what I have and what I was given this year. Last year was a super dry year, and I had a hard time watering my garden. And that's simply because I don't have a hose or a water resource near my garden. I have to go to a nearby river and fill plastic gallon jugs with water and haul them back to my garden, and it honestly takes quite a bit of time. But this year it was super rainy, so the most labor-intensive part of taking care of my garden was pretty much already taken care of. But because it was so rainy this year, I did have a hard time keeping up with weeds. Alright, so garden tip number 3 is to simply enjoy your garden. When I'm in my garden, I'm constantly snacking on edible flowers and different herbs and cucumbers. And I love bringing people into my garden and having them smell things and taste things. So just enjoy your garden because, I don't know, it doesn't have to be that serious. And I feel like the less serious I take my garden, the more I get out of it. But I am learning, and someday, out of learning from all of this, I will be able to grow all of my own food. But for now, I am just simply enjoying my garden and enjoying its abundance, and that is all I have to say. So enjoy your garden. These are silver slicer cucumbers. They're very similar to regular cucumbers, although I would say they're a bit more seedy, but I think they're super cool. And right now I have so many of them, so I'm eating as many as I can, but I'm also giving them away. And that's probably like my second favorite feeling is growing so much food and so many different things that I can give them away and I can bring them as little gifts, and people love it so much. They really appreciate my flowers and my vegetables when I can bring it to them. So I just hope that every year I get better and better, and I think that's what matters most. So, but enjoy your garden, enjoy your food. Wow, look at that big old garlic. Oh, that's so beautiful.